Yeah, when you cut off at the very end, cut off in the style that you want them to end.
Okay.
Right. So if you want a clipped release, show up with cut off. The cutoff, we almost have to think of the cutoff as a note, right? Because you can have an aggressive release, a legato release, a tapered release, a forte release, whatever. When you see, it looks sort of silly sometimes, but you see conductors, do the. Right? Which, for those of us who have to stop air or something, that's ridiculous. But actually, if it's either a choir or a string section, it can be, if it's handled right, a really effective way to end, depending on musically what's going on. So on that cutoff, if it's legato, you can show that release legato as opposed to staccato cutoff. Do the very end. So do the pickup into measure 13. Yeah. When you, both for your cutoff and your prep, you kind of come down like this. So you're doing, and it becomes a little bit of a moving target. If you're here, then end the cutoff there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Now on the prep, I'm starting to get to know all of the little nervous tics you all have when you're feeling uncomfortable. You all have them. You tend to look down when you start.
Okay.
Okay. Stare that insecurity right in the eye. And then listen for their breath at the beginning. Okay, do that probably a few more times. So start from the top.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't it.
That's up instead. Good. Yeah, do it again. And let them play. Okay, good. Now you're showing a dead beat. Okay, you're doing so click out, bum bum, just out, bum bum.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Do it again. And listen for their breath. You don't need to lean into them. Yeah, that's good. That's good. As we do this, your legato is actually getting more legato. It looks more comfortable. If you can make, again, everybody, the breath, well, if the breath happens correctly, you set the train in motion and you don't have to force. Okay? So now, as you start, think about how you say want measure 2, whatever, to go. Somewhere in the middle. And then how do you set that ball rolling? You know, what does that breath look like? Okay.
Let me start at the beginning.
Yes,
of
please.
the whole thing? Okay.
Look out, keep your look out. Keep going. Yeah, yeah, much better. Good. Lucas.
Yeah. I'm gonna do mission.
Justin, you like that? Really, a little bit towards Matato as you were kind of the start was really good. Quite a couple bars in. Used to how they respond.
I also think the first cut off, that was just kind of frustrating.
Sure, yeah, okay. Done that too.
I messed that up. Okay, all right, let's start again. So sorry.
Yeah. At the beginning, part of what we have to do is we have to set a certain kind of mood, right? And if it starts with, then you want to somehow, okay, how would you describe the mood of the beginning of this piece?
Frantic.
Frantic. Good. Yeah. Can you look before you start like you expect frantic?
Yes.
So. That seems out of character, right?
Yeah.
So you want at least something.
Okay.
Like it doesn't have. You don't have to be Leonard Bernstein melodramatic, but
Okay.
something that acknowledges this is intense.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. Yep. Now, when there is a new entrance of a new voice or a completely different idea, you have to, even if it's in the middle of the piece, you have to almost treat it like it's a new prep, right? So let's assume the piece started on measure 3. Bum, 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 bum. What would that prep look like? So then when you come out of that trill, I'm going to do something
Yeah.
that will acknowledge these new voices are coming in.
Okay.
The first half of the bar rushes just a little bit.
Okay, like the.
Yep.
Okay.
Ba, 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 something like bum, 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 bum.
Okay.
Is an option too.
Okay.
There is something a little like Kapellmeistery or drum majory about right? I think you can just sort of have it play a downbeat, let them play it.
Okay.
You know, show a downbeat, let them play it. Good. Just work on that in 5/4, especially with a rhythm like this. The rushing, even a little bit of rushing, will really destabilize our sense of pulse.
Okay.
Just make sure you're really comfortable with that.
Okay.
Before you do it. Good. Bravo.
Drink a gallon of water every single morning. Time for Christmas. I'm ready.
Good. Allison, it's really clear. The swaying is a little less. This is very nice. The dynamic at the beginning, it looked awfully loud for me at the beginning, and then you couldn't really go anywhere after that. Okay, start a little bit softer, and then everybody, this rhythm, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum, bum. Have you seen a rhythm like that before? Do you know what that is? Band folks should probably have heard this term before. Might even say it in the description, I can't remember. Where instead of like dotted 8/16, it's 16th dotted 8th. It's called a Scotch snap. No? So it's a kind of a characteristic rhythm in Scottish folk tunes, right? And it has kind of it's almost treated like an accent. It's not like an aggressive accent, but you have to kind of lean on that note. So when you conduct this, I show a small accent on beat 4 in that bar. 1, 2, 3, ba-dum, bum, bum. Which again means I have to be a little smaller everywhere else. Okay, start it one more time. Legato is pretty good. Pull through the notes, conduct a little smaller, and show the snap. One more time. Look like you're kind of forcing the entrance.
Hold on.
Somebody from the top of the line. Won't say who.
I'll do the same.
Hey, let Halloween happen.
Let Halloween happen. And after Halloween, I'm gonna say let Thanksgiving happen.
All holidays are valid.
They are valid. Just one is better than all of them.
How'd that feel?
I felt like I was kind of out of control. Like I tried to speed up a slightly faster,
Uh-huh.
and then when I tried to slow down, it didn't happen.
Aha, right, yeah. What did it feel like right before that?
I feel like I was maybe preemptively speeding up.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to, but I was.
Yeah, so it either looked like, I wasn't tell if you were pushing them or if you were if you were getting pulled along with the group, because you started at a slower tempo than where you ended up. So, like, make them play in your tempo,
Okay.
right? When we change a tempo, people who are in orchestra have heard this before, when you change a tempo, the first thing you have to do is establish the thing you're changing. Okay? So if the tempo is already a little bit out of control, or if you're pushing or dragging or whatever, then a tempo change almost never works. If you first establish clearly what the tempo is, then you can change it. Okay? So right before that retard, right before the slightly faster, you want to make sure they're right with you, tempo is really steady, and then you can start to push, and then you'll have some room to pull back, and then back to tempo. Okay? One more time, can you prep that more like up?
Yeah.
Make them play in your tempo. There you go. Yeah, that just felt much better.
Yeah.
Tiny little thing, when you get to the arrival, avoid too much of coming out to them for it's a little bit hard to read that way.
Okay.
Good, well done. Five, four, three, okay.
George, I'll be doing as much as possible.
for us to get caught up in ba, 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 to sort of show the syncopation ourselves. We need to put the group in a position where they can play. Can you guys start at measure 3 for me? Measure 3. Right, so 1, 2,
Yeah,
ba,
it's basically
ba.
straight up and down.
It's almost, yeah. I'm
yeah.
not traveling quite so much. At this faster tempo, if you travel farther, then it becomes, right? And that's just what you felt. Right now is how you feel when you play. So stay a little smaller, and keep beats 1 and 2 a little bit closer. They're not in the same place. That starts to be a little funny, but you want them to have a steady, even pulse from which that syncopation can kind of spring off from. Okay? So a little smaller and steadier. Yep.
Got a little turnaround. It just felt weird.
It's the
First, yeah.
asymmetrical stuff again. It feels weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much better. Now, at these faster tempos, the smaller you get, the more it has to move towards a staccato. Okay? So think of it musically, right? A really fast tempo marcato, it can't, I mean, okay, it can be, but it's not often ba 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 ba. That kind of marcato, it feels kind of obnoxious. It has to lighten up a little bit as you get faster, so we have to reflect that, which means a little less arm, more at the point of the baton, and more wrist. Okay, so you sort of are using the whole arm, and that's why the beat feels really big. Ba 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 ba. My arm is moving, but not. It's only about that much. Okay, do one more time. Tip of the baton, use the wrist. Come up a little bit, flatten your arm. There you go.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
If the choreography for a cutoff in this context is a problem, don't do it. Bum, 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 bum. That's fine. You can just show the downbeat and stop. Okay? Still work a little bit on your own and getting comfortable with the wrist part. You really like to use the whole arm. And you need to still do a little bit more work on like this kind of thing and getting comfortable with it. It'll just clean up the pattern. Good. Thank you, Jordan. Next. Makes Braves.
It's enough.
You're enough.
I could feel they wanted to go a little faster, and then you pulled them back. You do have like, I don't want to say it's imposing. They have to play what you want. I like that a lot. It would be stronger if you started looking at them. Because you really did have this great control over the group, like this. And if you would just start up, you would all those problems, like those little push and pull at the beginning, that just would have gone away. Start one more time.